From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your Evening Update.
American Door Company has been family-owned and operated for over 29 years, supplying Northern California with quality garage doors, garage door openers, and installed with the best service you'd expect from a locally owned company. We serve all of Northern California from Willows all the way up to the Oregon state line. Give us a call today.
Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Mike Krueger, and I'm live here for your 5 o'clock update. Excuse me, I typically upload this at about 6 o'clock, but I figured I'd get this about 5 o'clock here this evening. There's been a lot of activity here. We've got power outages, we got strong thunderstorms. There have been reports of hail across parts of Northern California and gusty winds, frequent lightning. So a lot to really talk about here. And first of all, you can see this swirling area of low pressure that is centered over Northern California right now. And it's the swirl around that low pressure that's really dictating the movement of these storms. To the east, it's moving to the north and east. To the west, it's moving to the south and east. And of course, right there in the center, a lot of the storms are actually fairly stationary. So let's take a look at the closer look at the radar here, and there actually is a flood warning, a flash flood warning for the park fire, right? The burn scar of the park fire here until 6 o'clock this evening. And you can see that area in eastern Tehama County. In the meantime, we're looking at a lot of thunderstorms here that have really began to develop here. Nothing severe as of this point, but we are seeing a lot of what we call special weather statements. And those are strong thunderstorms that are producing heavy rainfall, possibly some hail, and not to mention that lightning out there as well. There's a look at the radar right now. Looking up in Siskiyou County. Unfortunately, as I put this on here, I took off the lightning detection. So let's stop this. I'm going to take you into the analysis, and we're going to turn on the lightning strikes to kind of give you an idea of where we're seeing those lightning strikes as well. So let's get out of there. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and animate this. We can do this, folks. We can do it. That's because it's not... there we go. We can do it. We're going to get there. All right, there you go. There you can see the thunderstorms and frequent lightning that we are seeing associated with that. I'm going to go ahead and change the radar site. We're now going to take you down to the south. And again, you can clearly see a lot of lightning strikes that we have seen in the valley. I mean, look at all the lightning strikes here. We can put a little counter on here as well. We've seen upwards of over 200, not quite 300 in a 30-minute time frame, but 1 to even 200 lightning strikes in a matter of 30 minutes here for many areas along for the higher elevations, and not to mention into the valley as well. All right, now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the power outages, because the yellow is in Shasta County. 10,000 people approximately are without power, most likely due from lightning strikes that we're seeing in the area. Now, what you see there in Tehama County, the blue, that is 1, meaning 1,000 people are approximately without power in Tehama County as well. We have seen a lot of lightning strikes, so we are certainly going to have to kind of wait and see what PG&E can do to resolve that issue. But in the meantime, 10,000 people or more are without power in Shasta County and about 1,000 people in Tehama County. All right, we're going to take a look at Krueger's Quickcast for those of you that are in a hurry and just want a quick look at the forecast for today, tonight, and into tomorrow. And then we'll go into the deeper dive. We'll take a look at the radar. We'll take a look at the works, right? So let's start with your Krueger's Quickcast for your Wednesday, September 10th. Scattered showers and thunderstorms will continue through Friday, believe it or not. Now, the chances start to diminish as we get closer to the end of the week, so we're going to be talking about that in the deeper dive. Dry and warmer by Saturday. Now, there's still a chance for maybe some coastal showers, looks like, as a weak disturbance may push through on Sunday, but mainly for the coast and possibly even Trinity County. And then highs will be closer to normal next week. What I mean by that is, it's been cool this week, but we've got temperatures getting back into the mid to even upper 90s by next week. So summer is not over just yet, although it may feel like it. So for tonight, temperatures in the mid to upper 50s for the valley. We've got 40s, even some 50s for the higher elevations, and somewhere in the low to mid 50s here for the coast. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the out the door tomorrow morning. As you're getting ready for work or getting the kids off to school tomorrow morning, you're going to be looking at partly to mostly cloudy skies, and there will be some areas where we could see some showers out there as well. well, but still on the cool side. So again, you look over Northern California, you can see the spin of low pressure that's over us. That's partially responsible for the thunderstorms that we are seeing. Let's take a quick look at Futurecast here. And I do think that even in the valley, overnight, there will still be a chance for some showers, maybe even some thunderstorms here. And this would include places in Glenn and even Butte counties seeing that potential as well. I think Futurecast is kind of underplaying the potential of what we're seeing here. And then as we go into tomorrow morning, we kind of see some more flare-ups near the valley, as a matter of fact, even just to the east of Redding. And then look what happens as we go into Thursday afternoon. We see afternoon convection, and now we're on the backside of the area of low pressure. That meaning the low pressure is off to our east over Nevada, and the storms are moving around that area of low pressure, hence the moving from north to south. So I do think that there's a chance that some of those could work their way into the north end of the valley, and Redding may actually see an isolated thunderstorm here late tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, but as you head south into the valley, those chances will be slimmer. And then by Thursday night, it looks like we'll pretty much be done, because Friday not looking very promising for much in the way of thunderstorms. So here's your Thursday forecast. I've got you as far south as Red Bluff. I think those chances are very slim. It's mainly Redding, Anderson, maybe Cottonwood, see the potential for thunderstorms. And then the surrounding mountains in Trinity County, Siskiyou, Modoc, the mountains of Shasta, out towards Lassen and Plumas County, seeing that potential. But I do think Del Norte and Humboldt counties will most likely remain shower and thunderstorm free for your Thursday, as most of it will be to the east of Del Norte and Humboldt counties. So your 7-day forecast: Redding, maybe Red Bluff seeing a shower or thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, but Chico most likely dodging all of that. By Friday, temperatures are going to start to slowly increase up to about 90 on Saturday. A slight dip on Sunday before temperatures start to climb again. You see that by Tuesday, Wednesday, we're back in the mid to upper 90s. Take a look at the coast, and there's that slight chance for showers, possibly even for the inland areas and Weaverville come Sunday as well. But by Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it dries out and it starts to warm up for the inland areas and for the mountains as well. Siskiyou County, you got the chance for thunderstorms tomorrow. I think Friday dry, maybe a chance for a lingering shower for Modoc County, Lassen, and Plumas counties. Otherwise, you're dry for Saturday and Sunday, and then it looks like temperatures warming up going into next week. Okay, that is a look at your Krueger's Quickcast. Quick look at the fire weather risk out there, sponsored by Garmin's Tractor Service. We are looking at very low fire weather risk here, and why is that? Well, of course, it's cooler. We're looking at higher humidity and the rain that we've seen out there. Now, you'll notice on Friday, we're starting to see a little bit more yellow entering the picture. That's because things are starting to dry out again, and I do anticipate that as we start going into the weekend and next week, we're going to start seeing more yellows and even some oranges on the map, indicating moderate to high, as again we start to see that drier air begin to move on in. So once again, we take a look at the satellite image here, and as I mentioned, I unfortunately took off the lightning detection on that. But here you can see the area of low pressure spinning still over Northern California. What I'm going to do one more time, and we're going to kind of go into a little bit deeper into this here. What we're going to do, before we do that, let's take you back to the radar. So you can see what it's looking like, right? And we're really seeing a lot of this activity start to kind of shift a little bit more from north to south. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this animation, and I'm going to show you some of the intensity that we are seeing with these storms. Number one, here you can see this is where we have a flash flood warning right over here. This is from the Park Burn Scar area that you're looking at here. This is until 6 p.m. We've seen a lot of heavy rainfall in this area over the last several hours. And with the burn scar, you could be looking at mudslides, debris flows, and it's not just that as well, but even some localized flooding, creeks and streams. You could see some of the local streets, and even Highway 36, for example, see some local flooding as well. So you remember, turn around, don't drown, right? And then you can see right here to the west of Red Bluff, we have a special weather statement, essentially meaning it's not quite in the severe category, meaning we don't have hail large enough, which it needs to be at least an inch in diameter, and you need winds in excess of 58, close to 60 miles per hour. We're not quite there yet either, but it's still a very strong thunderstorm, and it definitely heeds caution, right? So if you're in the path of this storm, which as it's moving southward, do make sure that you take cover, because you can see that there's some very heavy rainfall. You see within those purples in there, that's indicating some very heavy rainfall, and a very good possibility Yes, we are seeing some hail that is associated with that. Let's take a look at what the size of that hail might be. And it looks like, well, since we're in the, let's see if we can do this. We can do that. There we go. We've got half-inch size hail. So again, I was mentioning that it needs to be at least an inch in diameter before you reach that category of becoming a severe thunderstorm. And that's at least one of the criteria. So let's take you back to the radar. You can see just how intense this thing is. Take you back in time. And let's see if we can see the movement. Moving, yeah, generally to the south. A lot of lightning strikes associated with this as well. Meanwhile, we take you to the north and east of Red Bluff. We've got some pretty strong thunderstorms there, and looks like just some moderate to heavy rainfall in the Redding area eastward into Palisadro. And then, of course, we take a look at Trinity County, and you've got some of the showers there, but nothing too terribly intense. We're going to take a look at the radar coming out of Eureka, and once again, I just don't see anything all that intense. Now, we are seeing some stronger thunderstorms east of Hoopa and the Orleans area. That is also, yeah, generally moving to the south-southwest. We're going to take you up north now into Siskiyou County, taking a look at the radar site there. And, you know, you just got these scattered areas of thunderstorms and showers, too. Around Etna right now in Scott Valley. We're also seeing some activity south of Mount Shasta and in eastern portions of Siskiyou County around Tule Lake. Meanwhile, we take you out to the Canby area. We've got Cedarville, Alturas, and even Fort Bidwell seeing some of the showers there as well. So again, just in this general area, about 9 lightning strikes, and that's mainly because it's up there in southeastern Oregon. All right, well, let's take a look at the radar, just kind of give you an idea. Once again, do want to mention that we are looking at power outages. Over 10,000 people in Shasta County are without power per PG&E. Also, you can see in Tehama County, there are about 1,000 people that are without power, and this is most likely because of the lightning strikes that we have seen in the area. So just kind of be aware of that, especially if you live in Shasta County. Let's see if we can get this thing into motion, get it into movement, and there we go. All right, now we're going to go ahead and take a look at Futurecast, because Futurecast will show you what we can expect as we go into tonight. Now, this is the latest forecast model data coming in here. This is at 6 o'clock this evening. You can see the showers and thunderstorms that we are seeing. Now, we're not seeing as much activity right now in the Glenn and Butte County areas, and the thing is, there's a very good chance as this moves southward, some of it could work its way into Glenn and Butte counties. But as the sun sets, even though we do have this area of low pressure helping to produce some of the instability, what's really helping to drive these storms as well is the afternoon convection, the daytime heating that we're seeing. So once we start losing the energy of the sun, we're going to see a lot of this activity begin to really fall apart. But with the instability of the area of low pressure in place, it's still going to bring us some scattered showers, the possibility for a few thunderstorms popping up as well. This is midnight tonight, and you can still see some activity in western Tehama and into Glenn County as well. So this is why we can't rule out overnight tonight a stray shower or even a thunderstorm, a brief thunderstorm that could move over even into Glenn and Butte counties. I mean, look at tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. You see this? A little cluster of storms trying to develop. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to exactly develop in that location, but we could see that potential as we go into tomorrow morning. Then we start to see that afternoon convection begin to take place. What I mean by that is that the daytime heating. Now, what you'll notice here for tomorrow, it's not as widespread as we're seeing here for today. And this is something I was talking about even this morning. I think today is going to be the worst of it for the week. We've got very strong thunderstorms, right? And this is something I was mentioning earlier this morning and even at midday. So as we go into tomorrow, yes, we've got thunderstorms in the forecast, but they're not going to be quite as intense. There may be some strong to severe thunderstorms, but it's not going to be as widespread. Now, another thing we've got to watch is because now that the area of low pressure is off to the east, we've got the flow around that low. So now the storms are moving from north to south. So that is going to bring that potential for some of those rolling into the valley. Now, this model wants to take that storm and pretty much take those storms and just have them all fizzle out before hitting the valley. And that very well may be the case because we talk about upward motion, right? That's the instability. That's what helps to create these showers and thunderstorms. If the air is sinking, the storms collapse on themselves and they can't sustain, and we just look at dry conditions. So that is that possibility as we go into Thursday evening. However, I can't rule out I just can't in good conscience tell you that it's going to be 100% dry. There may be some of these showers and thunderstorms that could roll down into the valley, places like Redding, Anderson, maybe as far south as Red Bluff, but honestly, that might be pushing it. Now, check out Friday. Friday, I'm still calling for a slight chance for some afternoon showers and thunderstorms developing here to the east. So Modoc, Lassen, and even Plumas counties could see some of that activity. But for Siskiyou, Trinity County, west of that, even the valley, all 100% completely dry at that point. And then we go into Saturday, and then we're pretty much dry as well. And then another system possibly impacting us by the time we get into Sunday. Believe it or not, this one looks much weaker, not going to have much impact. Rainfall totals at least through Friday. Most of it will be in the higher elevations, but as I mentioned, there is that slight chance we could see maybe a little bit of that rainfall tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, working its way into the north end of the valley. Had to show this. I've been showing this the last few days. Yeah, we're getting a little bit of snow on top of Mount Shasta. You have to really go above, say, 10, 11, 12,000 feet, somewhere within that range here. And as you can see here, it's not a ton, but I do think we might get to see a nice dusting of snow on top of Mount Shasta once this all clears out. Gorgeous, right? You know, and Lassen Peak might be borderline because I think, you know, snow levels are going to be around 11 to 12,000 feet. And Mount Shasta is about 14,000 feet and Lassen is about 10,000 feet. So, yeah, it might be just rain at the top of Lassen Peak. But for Mount Shasta, some snow. All right, so you've got drier than normal conditions in the long range. So we've been spoiled, folks. We've been getting the rainfall. We've been getting the cooler temperatures, getting a taste of fall. But fall's not here officially just yet. And summer is going to make its presence known once again next week, and I'll show you why. This is the area of low pressure that's helping to produce the instability. As it moves off to the east here, we're going to be on the back side of that flow, and on top of that, things are starting to dry out. Saturday, a bit of a break, but we've got the next system right here. Now, the models have been all over the place on the placement of this thing. Some of them have been bringing it down to the south, kind of riding down the coast, and it's been going back and forth. So there's a lot of inconsistency, and that means, not very much confidence in that longer range forecast. So here's what I'm going to say. I think that on Sunday we could see a stray shower for parts of the coast and maybe into Trinity County as well. Otherwise, I think the rest of us will be dry. We'll see a dip in the temperatures Sunday, and then going through next week, as that moves out, we've got high pressure building in, and that is going to give us warmer temperatures. In fact, temperatures are going to climb up above normal for this time of the year, more summer heat towards the middle and latter part of next week, and you can see that from the Climate Prediction Center. Take a look at that 10-day trend. Again, you see that actually increased a little bit for Friday, Saturday. There's that dip on Sunday, chance for coastal showers, maybe Trinity County as well, and then, yeah, there it is. There's that more summer-like heat making its way here by Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then mid-90s by that Friday and Saturday. So yes, we've got more heat on the way. We've just been spoiled with some very pleasant temperatures. The wave heights are not going to be changing much, but although it looks like they will start to increase as we go into Friday a little bit here. But overall, at this point, there are still no small craft advisories. Here's your neighborhood forecast, sponsored in part by Dignity Health. You've got those temperatures in the 70s and 80s. Now for Weaverville, I still think in Trinity County in general, chance for thunderstorms tomorrow. Then on Friday, you're done. No more thunderstorms, dry through the weekend, although by Sunday, maybe a stray sprinkler or light shower, but I don't anticipate any thunderstorms at this point. Your Dignity Health North Coast neighborhood forecast, mid-60s for your highs. Maybe another chance for showers Sunday. I think the coast and even inland will be dry tomorrow. Dry on Friday, and then Sunday, that slight chance for a sprinkler or light shower here for the inland areas. Otherwise, tomorrow, Hoopa about 83 and 86 degrees out in Willow Creek. All right, we're going to take you out towards your Dignity Health. Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast, 60s and 70s. Chance for thunderstorms tomorrow. Dry on Friday, dry through the weekend, possibly even Sunday. Western Siskiyou County, all right, places like Happy Camp, Fort Jones, Etna. All right, you may get caught up in some of that in a stray sprinkle, but otherwise most of Siskiyou County will be dry on Sunday. Here is your Modoc County neighborhood forecast. Temperatures mid to upper 60s. We do have the thunderstorms on Thursday, a chance on Friday. Just a slight chance for a stray shower here and there, and then it's dry through the weekend and dry into next week. Your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast. Temperatures 60s and 70s, 74 degrees for Greenville, 73 in Paradise, and there's Viola at about 60. Here's your Dignity Health Valley neighborhood forecast to the south. Temperatures kind of hovering around that 80-degree mark before they do start to increase, and then we're back in the low 90s for Oroville by Tuesday and Wednesday. Let's take a look at your 7-day forecast. Oops, I got a little button happy there. We're going to take a look at your 7-day forecast for Chico. Low to mid 80s for Thursday, Friday, and then it looks like back into the 90s by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. All right, now we take a look at your Valley neighborhood forecast to the north. 82 for Redding and Anderson, 81 for Cottonwood, and 80 out in Red Bluff. All right, let's take a look at that 7-day forecast for Redding. It's warming up a little bit here on Saturday, but there's that dip on Sunday, back up into the 90s, mid to upper 90s by Tuesday and Wednesday. All right, that's your evening update. I'll, of course, be back again tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock with your latest forecast and live on Coffee with Krueger at 6:30. Until then, have a great night. We'll see you then.
At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too. Because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.